Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Caught in a net with Annette. For your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with Annette. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with Annette.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your host, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
Hey, great afternoon, guys. Welcome to another wonderful segment of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I'm your host, Annette Harris. I'm also your certified mental health ambassador and author of that bestseller, Surviving a Silent Heartbeat. Actually, I need to make notes. Sometimes, you need to toot your own horn. Two-time award-winning author. The Lord has just blessed me to win another award for my book, Surviving a Silenced Heartbeat. So if you haven't gotten your own copy, please go ahead and do so today. You will not be disappointed. You can go to Amazon or to my website, getcaughtinanetradio.com. Listen, I want you to come on in. Let me do this first. Let me pray. Lord, we thank you for all things. We thank you. We thank you for who you are and how you are. We thank you for what you've done, what you're going to do. We thank you for your great blessings and how you're showing yourself strong through us, all for your glory. We ask that you would get the glory out of this segment, everything we go to say and do. In Jesus' name we pray. And I always like to quote the scripture, Hosea 4:6, the first part. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And I always say we don't want to be rejected by God. So let's do all that we can to attain the knowledge that he has for us. And so I am excited again to welcome you guys back into another segment here on Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. I always say if you see my face around 12 noon Central Standard Time on a Wednesday, it's time for you to come on and get caught in a net. Listen, I have a wonderful guest that I'm going to feature on today. I'm so excited to have her here with me. I met her last month, I believe it was, and I had an opportunity to talk with her and interview her on another platform, but I wanted to have her come on here so that you guys can meet her as well. So I'm going to bring her in and we're going to get this party started on today. Lamekia, how are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is so good to see you again.
Thank
You are here with us, and I just can't wait to get started with you because I learned some things about you when I met you, and I said, oh, I want somebody else to know too.
Thank you for the invite. I'm honored to be here.
You are so welcome. You are more than welcome. Guys, before we get going into this interview on today, I'm going to ask and encourage you to go ahead, click the share button. You can tag individuals directly into this live feed. You can share, and share alike. Listen, throw up the heart, the thumbs up, and also the care button. And, we are live on my Facebook page at Get Caught in the Net. Instagram get caught in the net, YouTube get caught in the net. And then after this segment is over, maybe another day or two, we're going to have it uploaded to Intellectual Radio's YouTube channel as well. So you can't miss us. I know some people may be on lunch and they're running in and running out, and you may be able to watch it in its entirety later. So we just welcome you. Let me read just a little bit of this bio. My goodness. I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 bios for this woman of God, but that just tells you all the things that she's doing.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
No, you don't apologize. That's greatness, honey. Don't apologize for that. God is having you doing some great things, and we all should know about it. I have here that she is a wealth strategist dedicated to mentoring youth and women, and she's passionate about promoting financial literacy. With over 20 years of experience in leading some of the leading Fortune 500 banking and financial industry companies across the globe, she has helped women break financial barriers and obtain generational wealth. She is a true philanthropist at heart, and she's the founder of the Hey Girl Foundation. I like to say that. A nonprofit organization that provides financial literacy and mentorship programs to at-risk and homeless youth. Her efforts were recognized when she was named the 2022 Unsung Heroine in the Cook County 6th District. As a serial entrepreneur, she strives to empower the younger generation, especially in Black and Brown underrepresented communities, to give back, to achieve financial success, and embrace entrepreneurship. Lamekia is an author and has traveled the world using her multifaceted leadership skills to empower others and create a brighter future, for the younger generation. In addition to her professional endeavors, Lamekia is a devoted wife and mother. She serves on several boards. She's a village appointed commissioner and holds an elected official position, further demonstrating her commitment to making a positive impact in her community. Welcome again, Lamekia Davis, to Mind, Body, and Soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Look, and you didn't have to, you know how they say when you in church and they reading your bio and everything, you didn't have to put your head down. You don't like the preachers do.
Gotta stay humble.
Right. But that is so that was a lot.
Yes,
that you are doing, have accomplished, and are continuing to do. And so I wanted to have you on. First, I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself personally to everyone that's here and that will watch us later. Just talk about who you are personally.
Sure. So my greatest accomplishment, and I always start off by saying that, is my children. I am a mother of a bright 16-year-old daughter and a 21-year-old son who is graduating this year from college. He's in Tennessee, so I'm excited about that. I am a wife. I'm a minister in the Lord's church, and I am all things financial literacy. On top of that, I serve in the community. I sit on the Board of Education. I am an appointed youth commissioner in the village in which I reside. And I run a company that actually I am the only African American in senior level leadership in the company. And so I'm the executive director there. So I do a lot. My hands are full. But to God be the glory. I am doing it all and with stride.
Yes, you are, sis. Yes, you are. And I'm telling you, you're going to really, I know you already are inspiring, but you're going to continue to inspire people. And we can kind of, you guys can understand why I even wanted to highlight Mrs. Davis on this particular month, because of course we're celebrating Women's History Month, or like I say, Women's HERstory. All right. Because this is what we're doing. We are, making it known what we do and how we can help others. So the theme for this year was created by the National Women's History Alliance. So the theme for Women's History Month is moving forward together. I love that. And also says women educating and inspiring generations. I get stuck on that moving together. That's why I hesitate a little bit, because moving forward together, we don't always see that. And, unfortunately, we kind of, tear each other down and don't necessarily move forward together. But let me ask you, how can you relate to this theme, whether it's personally or professionally?
And I thought about this question, and I said, man, there's so much that I could say as it relates to moving forward together. So I think let's break it in half. So moving forward together, we'll start on that part. I think that it's very important for women, especially of color, to reach back and pull someone up with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's no fun being at the top by yourself. And so when you get up there, you have to reach back and bring another woman with you so that woman can reach back. And now we're all at the top and we all have a seat at the table. And so I've done that in my life. I try to get a mentor or mentee. A mentor has helped me in my professional life. And especially in this political realm that I am in, you don't meet people often that will bring you in a room or open a door for you. And I'm grateful to have a mentor that has done that for me and has helped me in my walk. And so that part resonated with me. But then the other part of that was women educated and inspiring generations. So I teach financial literacy.
Right.
And I teach it to young people because when I was young, I did not have that financial literacy. I did not have that teaching. And so I had to bump my head a few times. And now I try to teach people before me, generations before me, so that they won't have the same problems that I have and that they can live and be where they need to be financially well before I got to where I am now.
Okay. Okay. Wow. But you know what? I think I always hear this, necessity is the mother of all invention. Sometimes, we may not have had ourselves, but we want to pay it forward and do it for someone else. So that's what I hear when you talk about the financial literacy. You want to, help young people and the young ladies and stuff. And I think that's wonderful, actually. You're not being selfish, you're being selfless. You want to see that. So then that must mean that, and I'm throwing this in there, it must mean that maybe that was something that did you desire that when you were coming along, or you just saw that it was needed?
So when I was coming along, I didn't necessarily desire it, but when I got to a certain point in life, I desired for those before me or younger than me to experience what I knew now in this point of life. And so
Right.
that would be my answer to that.
Okay. No, and that's cool. You just never know. Where how some people kind of come up with, okay, I'm gonna make sure I do this. I know when you were mentioning about counseling or mentorship, excuse me,
Mhm.
you mentioned about that. And I know that, like, for myself, in my area, yours is more the financial, mine is more the psychological, right? And so when you have the mentorship in that area, I think I kind of inadvertently became like a mentor psychologically to some young people as I was coming along. And after a while, I was like, let me just go to school for this, whatever. So it just kind of fell in my lap in that respect. So I think that's kind of why I also asked that question too, because you never know.
And
Again.
you're a beautiful human being, so naturally people will gravitate to you and want to know. You have a light, and so they want to know, well, what is that? And I think that's part of the same with myself. People want
Right.
to know, what's it to you, and how did you get there? I get a lot of questions from young ladies about how did you get where you are now, and so I started mentoring. And that actually the Hey Girl Foundation came about because of that. Mentoring those girls just on my own. And then we would greet each other and say, hey, girl. And then one day I said, okay, well, I will make this a thing. And I started the foundation.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. Look, okay, well, wait a minute. Can we sidetrack these questions and talk about Hey Girl real quick?
Absolutely.
Since you brought that up. I
Mhm.
love the Hey Girl, because it is something like we would kind of like say casually to each other or whatever. Hey girl,
Mhm.
whatever. So obviously that's how you came up with the name. But talk a little bit more about this foundation.
Sure, absolutely. So at the age of 11, my mom, she had stage 4
Hmm,
cancer. And to God be the glory, she's still alive.
praise
It
God.
went into remission, but it was a very dark time in our lives. And
Yeah.
because of how ill she was, I had to learn how to drive. I was driving her to and from her appointments. And
When you were 11?
yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes,
Wow.
and because of everything that she went through, we ended up losing everything.
Okay.
And that's another, if somebody's out there listening, I'm sure there are cancer organizations, but I haven't heard of organizations that help you build when you overcome
Hmm.
cancer, because you can lose so much in the process. And I don't know if the world expects you not to beat it, but once you beat it, you got to rebuild. And if that's an organization that's out there, I would love that information. But if not, then I know somebody need to start one. That's
Right.
put a pin in and then go back. But I started the foundation because I wanted to reach back. And at the time when I was homeless or as a kid, I felt like, well, if somebody knew what I was going through, then maybe somebody would have helped. Um,
Mm.
and number two to that, well, the second part to that is, savings and having a nest egg and investments and things like that could have helped us out. And so, I grew up and did well in life, and I said I'm going to start a nonprofit organization, and I'm going to teach financial literacy and in homelessness prevention, and mentor other young ladies who are hard to reach, who may have an attitude,
Yeah.
you don't know why, or people have given up on them, and those kind of young girls. I started the organization for that.
Okay. Okay. I love it. Okay, so that was almost like a necessity,
Yes.
more or less.
Yes, and
Um,
I've been blessed to see a lot of girls that I've mentored grow up to be successful. I've seen them on TBT. I've seen them, have great jobs. I've seen them become wives, and so it's rewarding to see the girls that I've helped that maybe society had given up on, and now look at them.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I'm sure it made you feel good, Like you
Absolutely.
said, rewarding to know that, the work that you started, it produced something. It,
Mm-hmm.
it produced good fruit, good fruit. All right, wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing that, about that particular foundation. And maybe later on we can let people know where to find you, because maybe there are
Sure.
some parents who are interested in their daughters being a part. So I
Absolutely.
don't know how all of that works with you, but maybe you can kind of share that
Sure.
as well. So let's see. All right, so talking about women's history, women's her
Mhm.
story. Who's the most influential woman you know?
I'm going to say my mom. And my mom is the most influential woman I know because um, of what we've overcome. She's an overcomer. Her faith has always is and always has been very strong. I believe that her faith is actually what brought her out of being sick so many years ago. And I've just watched her over the years um, go through different adversities and come through on top. And so she is definitely the most influential woman in my life. I appreciate her. I don't know if she's watching, but Mom, I appreciate you. Happy Women History Month, okay?
I love it. I will say this. When I rolled out that question, I said, she's going to say her mom. She's gonna say her mom, but I love it though, because you just never, and then it's encouraging for moms, just like you were mentioning about when you mentor individuals, it's encouraging for the moms to hear that, that you did make a difference. Because sometimes, as parents, you probably feel like, okay, am I making a difference? Am I getting through? Are they understanding me?
Yeah, and trust me, I heard that it was a rough patch where I didn't want to listen, and I don't believe that. But she said, you were something else, and I said, oh man, but I don't tell her enough how much I appreciate her for being who she is in my life and for who I am today.
Yeah. Definitely. I know she had a hand in it. My goodness. Even from, and you learned by her example, and you learned indirectly, as well, but that's wonderful. So I don't know if she is watching, but Mom, I appreciate you as well.
I don't know. Right. She might be.
Right. Okay. I do thank you all for coming in. I do see some that are hopping in, watching, and I appreciate it. I think I see Gloria Fields.
That's her.
That's your mom?
Yeah, that's her.
Hi, Mom. We appreciate you.
I knew she would be watching. If I shared the link, she's going to watch. I think she got a tap on my social media, because I've been in a room with her, and as soon as I get a notification, her phone goes off like that.
That is hilarious.
I don't know.
Right. How many siblings do you have?
I'm her only child.
Oh, okay. No wonder.
I'm the only child. My dad, there are 3 under me, and so there's two girls and a young man. Everybody's an adult, but I'm the oldest on my dad's side.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. She said, blessings. I'm watching. And Mama Gloria, I love that profile picture you got. You pretty lady. All right. Felice says she's a great mentor. Thanks for coming in, Felice.
Hey,
we appreciate you. All right. Must be somebody, maybe one of your mentees. Is that accurate?
No, Felice is actually she's my friend, and she does a lot of my graphic work, and she's a really good person just to know.
Okay.
Shout out to FMK Media.
All right, wonderful. Well, Felice, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. I see you guys here on Instagram as well. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate you watching, and YouTube as well. So let's move forward. Let's move forward, because I'm telling you, this young lady that I have on here today, yes, she is definitely someone you should know. I don't know, I might be making her blush, but I don't. I told you guys that I met her last month, and I was just so impressed with her and all that she does. And a shout out to Gerald Montgomery, because he made the connection. That's my big brother.
Yes, he's awesome.
Yes,
awesome. He actually is a personal friend of my husband. So we've been knowing him. We attend the same church.
Right. Yeah, I found that out. And along with Michi, my sis.
She's there as well. Yep.
Definitely. Well, this is good. I mean, this world, sometimes, it gets smaller and smaller, but you have all the good connections.
But I'm grateful for him inviting me to his show. And then I met you, a new friend.
That's right. That's right. I wanted to give him a shout out, because we kind of, all of us are kind of doing a whole lot of things, wearing a whole lot of hats, but it's good to be able to connect with good people that's doing things, that's especially positive things. So we talked about your mom being the most influential woman. So I guess Mama Gloria, while you was probably over there smiling, when you heard that. That's beautiful. Now let's talk about this particular month. I'm not even sure when it started, the Women's History Month, but have you always believed that we need to have a special month to honor women? What are your thoughts on that? Because some people don't like it.
Listen, I say let's celebrate all year long. We don't need just a month. We can celebrate all year long. But I do like Women's History Month, because it's a lot of activities going on, especially for women. There's quite a few teas and luncheons and stuff. So it's a fun month. We have a good time, us ladies, in this month.
Yes, yeah. And I agree. We should celebrate all year, just like we even say with Black History, it should be celebrated as every day.
It's every day. Yes, it is.
But yeah, Madame, I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to recognize women and our contributions to society, personally, professionally. We should not be overlooked because there's so much that we as women have done. Even when you look at churches, women have started out a lot of churches. They built the churches or what have you, and so you can't just push it aside and act like we don't matter because we do.
I'm a product of a woman pastor. I grew up at the Praise Center. Apostle Charlene Crosley was our pastor, and she's another. You asked me about the most influential, but she's another woman that was influential in my life. She taught excellence. She taught how to pray, how to cast out demons, how to live a life that was holy, how to be a wife. She was very much so influential in my life too. So,
beautiful. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, we're gonna give them their flowers, that's for sure.
Yes.
That's beautiful. So there are certain stereotypes that exist about women. How can they be harmful though, those stereotypes?
And there is a stereotype, especially in the professional world, of being having bad attitudes.
Ooh, girl.
They say we have bad attitudes, and so I strive with my staff not to leave at home or whatever's going on outside of the office. I try to leave it before I walk in the door, and so that's a bad stereotype for us. Great. It's so many stereotypes. That's unfair though. It's unfair because we go through a lot as women, number one, but as African American women, it's even more. We have more stressors, more things we have to worry about, different kind of illnesses, being a mother, there's things you worry about, being a wife, there's things you worry about, safety in this world. All kind of stuff we worry about. So it's unfair to put those kind of stigmas on us because of what we have to go through on a day-to-day basis.
I would totally agree. And I believe now you came out of corporate America, correct? And I'm quite sure that you've experienced the situations where they probably would say, oh, she's an angry Black woman, or maybe you've had to dial it back, so that they would not label you as such. And how did that make you feel? I know how it made me feel, and it was very uncomfortable when I was in corporate America. How did it make you feel?
I agree, it's very uncomfortable. I being in banking too was the only woman. It was a lot of men in high level banking, and me being a woman in it, it would make you feel inferior. And so therapy and a lot of in your community of friends and family to help you and talk it out and doing extra things outside of the workplace, and that helps you.
Yeah, you had to find a balance, I'm sure, to be able to handle what was being thrown your way. But I didn't know you back then, but I know you handled it. I know you did.
Oh yes, I can. I got that from my mother. I can get you told real nice without going there with you,
and they wouldn't even know.
Oh, go right on over their head. Okay, my grandmother Agnes Jones, bless her heart. She's in her 80s now, so she's toned down. But back in the day, she would tell you off with a smile, okay? Cut you up. And you will sit there and be like, did I just get told off or what? You don't even know, because she would get you told. And so I've learned that over the years, especially, and you have to be firm like that, unfortunately, especially with other races.
That is so true. That is so true. Let's see, who is this on this? And she is so dope. Lamekia Davis.
My husband.
I knew it.
That's my husband. Hey, hubby.
That is so sweet. Thanks for coming in, Mr. David. We appreciate you. And I think I see Amina. Hey, sweetie, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you.
Hi.
Oh, your mom was thanking us earlier. You're quite welcome, Mama. I'm gonna call her Mama Gloria. You know, I steal folks' family members just so you'll know. Okay,
Everybody's still my mom. They love her.
That's beautiful, though. That's beautiful. But so let's see here. I know. Let me move on to these other questions I have for you. I know that when you think about women, I've always heard, I'm sure you probably heard this too, when it comes to science, math, technology, engineering. Well, if you do the STEM, okay, that sometimes at a certain age that the young ladies don't really they don't do well in those areas, you know, as they're coming up in the Black community. And so when I see different ones excelling in those areas, excuse me, I get so excited. I'm like, wow, you know, what do you know anyone personally who has worked in, you know, the area of science, technology, engineering, or math?
Yeah, absolutely. Currently,
Okay.
I know 2 powerhouses. One is in technology. She does amazing, and one is in engineering. And I'm gonna be math. Okay, I'm gonna take the math. That's me. Gee. But I know quite a few CEOs that are high level in the math, in the area of math. And so yeah, women who look like me, I try to surround myself with women who are doing great things. And so absolutely I do.
Okay. And why do you think it's important for us to be represented in those areas as women?
Because there is a shortage in us in those fields, and we're going to look out for us and make sure that as we are aging out of these fields, we're bringing other people in our place.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We have to be represented definitely as women, you know, give me a seat at the table, or let me bring my own chair, or make my own table.
Listen, I have learned to be the table.
Okay. I believe you, sis. I believe you. Okay. Can you share one of those instances where you had to be the table?
You know, unfortunately, us and as women, I don't know. A lot of times we gatekeep. We don't like to, and it's not all women, but you know, there could be some type of jealousy there in some areas, or envy, and so it can keep you out of different rooms, or you know, I have been blessed to where I don't have that problem anymore. But you know, I used to just be myself, come in places, and somebody don't like me, you know, and that's not just Black women, it's all women, and I would not even know why, you know, just because they see a light in me or something like that. And so at the time it could seem as if it was a hindrance. But I'm always the type of person, well, you know, you don't invite me in the room, I'm gonna just make the room. I'm gonna come up with my own thing, and then now people are coming over here. I've done it in politics, you know,
okay,
where people did not support, you know, because whatever reason, I don't know you, I don't this, I don't that, you know, you got to prove yourself and that kind of stuff. Okay, it's fine. You know, but God got me, and I've been able to do a lot of things with favor.
Yeah,
the favor of the Lord. That's just it. That's all.
Okay. She said, that's it. That's all. I love it. I totally agree with you. So if you can meet any influential woman, whether entertainment, politics, or what have you, who would you choose?
That's a great question, because I've met some pretty amazing women.
Okay.
And I don't know. I can't answer that question. For someone that is alive right now.
Yeah.
I don't know, but if I could go back in time, I probably, let's see, if I can go in time, I don't know. I would do some kind of rebel in civil rights or something. A lady, someone like a Rosa Parks or I can't think of her name. What's the one? The Underground Railroad. My mom would
Harriet Tubman.
Harriet Tubman. She would have a fit because that's my mama's girl. How could you not? But those type of women who were fearless is the kind of women that I would say, yeah, I want to go and meet.
Okay. Now, would you have like a lot of questions for them, or maybe is it one main question you would probably ask them?
Overcoming fear. How do you get past that?
Ooh, I love that. I love it. Oh, okay, all right.
And I struggled for a long time. I think just within the last few years that I've kind of like moved past fear, but fear has really crippled me over the years. Fear of the unknown, what's gonna happen, or what would they say, or just stuff that I made up in my mind.
Right. Thinking that it should be this way or that way or what have you, or you don't, like you said, fear of the unknown. And honestly, sis, we all go through that. We really do. We sometimes second guess ourselves, maybe, okay, if I do it this way, I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. But I mean, we all deal with that. But that is a great question to ask them. And I'm quite sure that, they've gone on, may they rest in peace, but I'm sure they experienced it themselves and in some ways more than in other ways, you know what I mean? That dealing with that fear. I mean, who wouldn't, Harriet Tubman, freeing slaves, there had to be, some level of fear there, for her. And as a matter of fact, I don't know if many know, Monday the 10th was Harriet Tubman Day. I don't know if many know about that.
Wow. Yeah. No, I definitely didn't know. I'm gonna keep that in the 10th of this month.
March 10th. And they actually had that signed into law because that was the actual day that she died in 1913. So it is Harriet Tubman Day, March 10th. So that's something to remember. Yeah.
That's awesome. You taught me something today. I'm gonna have to put that in my calendar for next year.
Right. Little fun fact there. Little fun fact. So okay, let's move on. I absolutely love that question that you asked there. What has been your greatest challenge? I mean, you all have heard me read her bio. She wears a lot of hats, but I want to ask you, Lamekia, what has been your greatest challenge as a Black woman and as a serial entrepreneur?
That is a really good question. And when I'm asked that, I say the same thing. It's
okay.
Balancing it all it has been my biggest, because it doesn't seem like it's enough time in the day to get everything done, because you have to be a boss, you have to be the CEO, you have to be wife, you have to be mom, you have to be daughter, you have to be friend, you have to be minister. It's like so much going on, and balancing everything has been one of the challenges for me. So now I have to write everything down. I use my calendar. I use my digital calendar and my paper calendar. And if it isn't there, I usually forget. So I tell people, what is it? I have to put it on my calendar, because especially now with my daughter, her calendar is full. Now she got her stuff on my calendar, trying to do all of that. And I still strive to be present for everybody.
Yeah.
And so balance has definitely been something. But I have worked through that, like I said, with being very organized with my time. One thing that I got to do better with, and my husband's been on me about this, is taking care of myself.
Ooh.
Self-care. Self-care is something that I need to do more of, because I take care of everybody first, and I'm last in line. By the time it get to me, I'm tired. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do none of that. I just want to go to bed, or I want to binge watch something. I want to sit down. I want some ice cream. I want some cookies or something. So I gotta do better. I can't get that tired to where I don't want to eat. Right. So
That's true. You are saving the world, but you got to save yourself too, right?
Save myself. Yes.
All right.
And that's for all women. Self-care is really important. Because if we can't be good to ourselves, we definitely won't be good for anybody else.
Okay. Okay. So balance and self-care. It's been your greatest challenge. But you know what? You're educating, you are encouraging others too, because I know that there's somebody out here that's watching this or that will watch that can definitely relate, and understand. We women, I think when you earlier I was thinking about this, you've seen those commercials where the mom is she can't be sick basically, because she has the family to deal with. And I think she comes in there and asks her employer, can I take the day off? And then the employer is her child, her baby or something like that. So it's like we have to keep moving, but even in all that, we have to find the balance, because we don't want to break down. We break down, we ain't no good for nobody else.
You're right.
So I'm with David in telling you have to do that self.
You know what?
Self-care.
That's how I quit my they say you can't come out of banking. Banking is a field that you can never get out of. But I quit because I was like, you all are not gonna control me. And I had a wonderful opportunity for business and I could not go. And so I quit.
Okay.
Yeah. Came on out, then I said I'm gonna start working for myself. I have not looked back.
And how long ago was that?
20, I want to say 17, 18.
Wow. I didn't know it had been that long.
Yeah, so 17, 18. Yep. So, that was banking. Banking is a field where I balanced billions of dollars. And certain times of the month you couldn't take off, or you couldn't have vacation, you couldn't, certain things with the kids I wanted to go to, couldn't go to. I was tired of that. You're not going to tell them, you're not going to monopolize my time.
Right.
Because these jobs will replace you in a heartbeat. And your kids will be, your family will grieve, and why you gone? Because you didn't gave your all to this 9 to 5. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that to myself. You're not going to dictate when and where I can go. And that was that.
No, I get it. You have to make that decision. And sometimes they may not like it, the corporate America, but you have to do what's best for you.
Yep.
And your family, and you got a whole husband and a whole family, So I get it. I understand why you had to make that decision, and I applaud you. For that. So, you're doing so much. We've already talked about you balancing. Do you have any regrets in your life's journey, though?
No, because if I had any regrets, that would mean that I would want to do something over. And everything that has happened in my life has made me who I am. So I would say no.
Okay. Regrets. Okay. All right. Now do me a favor. I'm throwing this in here. When I first met you and then interviewed you on the other platform, you talked about your son, your daughter, and how you taught them. How you started off teaching them about the financial literacy. And there were some great miracles that came out of that. Can you share about your how
yeah, absolutely. So I structured my son's credit and finances so where he graduated from high school close to 800 credit score. Wow. Close to 800 credit score. And my daughter, who's 16, will be doing the same when she graduates next year. And my son is getting ready to purchase some property. We're working on purchasing some property, so he'll have that in his name at 21.
Come on now. Come. I think I did ask you, were you accepting applications for children?
That's funny. I used to want a large family, a bunch of kids, and I had the 2, and I was like, God, you did your thing with the 2. I don't need no more kids. So no, I am not taking applications at the moment.
Right. You just go deal with the foundation. You can teach them that way.
I got enough kids, okay?
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit more about your support system, your family, your children.
Yeah. So, not just my mom, but my husband is a big support. I bounce a lot of ideas off on him. And then I have a circle of girlfriends who definitely support. And I have one friend that'll be like, no, that ain't it. Don't, you know. And it's good to have those kind of people around, because if people are always saying yes, do it, and they're not thinking about the consequences, or is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? But I do have a group of friends that I am grateful for, that we can talk and be very honest with each other. And so that has helped me in my walk, just as being a manager, an entrepreneur, and all of that. So I have a great circle. I couldn't ask for a better one. God did his thing when he gave me my support system. My mom took off of work when I had my son for 2 years and kept him while I worked, because I was heavy in banking. Wow. And so he didn't have to go to
daycare or anything.
Daycare. And then when my daughter was born, my husband said, I don't want you to work. I want you to stay at home. So I took a pause in working for 2 years.
Okay. That is great support. I totally agree. Oh, I love that. Felice Kimbrew is watching. Thanks so much for coming in. She says support is everything. That is so true, Felice. And that's exactly why I asked her about her support, because again, she's doing so much, she's giving back, she's paying it forward. And so a lot of times with that, you want to know, what kind of support that individual has. Monday, I said, I'm doing a mental health day. I wasn't doing anything on Monday, right? Sometimes you have to take, you're pouring in, to individuals so much. Sometimes you have to take that, for yourself. And so again, if you have that support system, that makes it all, makes it easier. It makes it easier.
You know what, too, to mention, I wouldn't say we were necessarily friends, but I've developed relationship with my children's friends' parents. So if it was something I couldn't do, or if I couldn't be somewhere, I just, hey, can you grab and can you pick them up and drop them off at home? So I'm really grateful for that, because everybody don't have that.
No, they don't. Not somebody they can trust. You need somebody. I think sometimes I'll be watching some of these drama shows too much. They turn out to be somebody else, like, okay. But no, that's important. So yeah, I'm sure you appreciate them as well. Let's see, Jean, Helen Care and Development Center, throwing up a couple of hearts. Thanks for watching. And
so that's one of my circle of friends. She's the owner of the Jean Helen Care, Takisa.
Oh, okay. Hey, Takisa, thanks for coming in. We appreciate you. And Peggy Ann I'll just say Peggy Ann. I don't want to mess up your name. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you as well. This is great. Yeah, she's a wonderful young lady, and I'm glad you guys are supporting her on today, even watching this particular interview. So I know we're going to wrap up here, but I like to ask if you have any words of encouragement that you would like to give to anyone. If you want to give it to the women, because it's Women's History Month, or families or marriages, anything that you want to encourage us with on today.
Sure. Yes, I would say, and I know this is taboo, but it's so true and so real. Keep God first. Consult with God on everything.
Yes.
Because if you're not in God's will, it's going to make it only that harder for you, that much harder. And unfortunately, we don't consult with God before we make decisions. And we make those decisions, and we end up going through tests that we didn't have to go through. And bumping our heads and lose and taking L's because we didn't. It just takes a second to just pray and say, God, is this your will? It's just that easy.
That's right.
And do what God says. And if you're in his will, he's going to fit the bill. He's going to fit the need. He's going to do whatever's possible to make sure you succeed. So that would be my words of encouragement.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Okay. So What's next? What's next for you?
Good you ask. So moving with the financial literacy, I am actually I just finished writing a 7-part series for youth, a financial literacy book. Compilation of books, and the first one is coming out really soon, and it's called Wealthy Warriors, and it's taking some kids through adventures in financial literacy. You might do credit. One book is investments, one book is budgeting. You know, they're gonna go to the store, they're gonna do things, but it's for 4th through 8th graders. It's written as a novel to keep the attention of the kids. And I actually have one of my daughter's friends doing all of the graphic work for it. And so everything you see in the book will be done for and by youth.
Okay.
So I'm really excited about that. That's coming. I have a conference. So earlier part of the year, I had a virtual summit, positioning yourself for millions, and it went really, really well. When I do things, I kind of think about, like, you know, what are the people leaving with? Are they leaving feeling like they were they're better than where they came when they started with me? And so from that, everybody was like, oh my God, what's next? When is the next one? So we are working on the Positioning Yourself for Millions conference, which was Rosemont, and that'll be in person. So the summit was free, and it was a wealth of knowledge for the ladies that attended, but the conference is going to be over 2 days. And my team and I were working on that. So I'm really excited. We'll have a panel of some women there. I bring actual millionaires to the table, so you can ask questions and talk to them, see how they did it. All women, all humble, doing their thing in business. So that's what's to come.
Okay. I love it. You mentioned about your book, and you said you wrote it for 4th through 8th graders.
Yes.
I think some adults need that book too.
That, you know, the publishing company was like, well, what you got for adults? And I was like, let me think about that. Let me see. So I'm gonna ask you, what do you want to see in a book? I know, because there's a lot of financial literacy books for adults out there, but what is something that's not out there that you think you benefit or women would benefit?
Well, the reason why I say that, and I know it sounded comical, but when you look on social media, a lot of these supposedly adults are acting like children. So you mentioned that the way you wrote it was so that the children could understand. So that's why I meant the adults probably needed that, because
they need the kid book too, you said.
I'm trying to be nice and saying they probably need it broken down as if you talking to a child.
True. Understood. Yes. So I am going to do something. I don't know if it's not financial literacy, it might be something just about me, you know, who I am. That's come up. I was writing a book. It was called Big Girl Panties.
Okay.
And kind of went some directions with it. Don't know if I want to release it yet or not. And then I do have a ebook that you can get on my website. I do.
Oh, really?
That.
Okay, what's the name of that one?
Finance According to Faith.
Finance According to Faith.
It's a faith and finance ebook.
And where can they find this?
On my website, Lamekia Davis Global.com.
All right, and as she's talking, guys, I'm typing it into the comment section. Okay, so Lamekia Davis Global.com, right? All right, and the name of the book again is Finance According to Faith. So you guys go to her website, and I learned when I first interviewed her that Lamekia Davis Global, you can find that anywhere. Okay, so she's on Facebook, Instagram, where else?
Twitter,
YouTube,
everything is under Lamekia Davis Global.
Okay, all right, so you guys can make sure you follow her. I just plugged it into the comment section, so let me flash it on the screen because it is going to Go
Thank you
straight
for
to her
that.
website.
Appreciate that.
Sure. Oh, Felice Kimbrough says she'll read the kid book. Girl, me too. Me too. That's what I'm talking about.
And you know what? In the kid book, it's the person in it is actually myself. So it's yeah, she's called she's Miss Mika in the book, and
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm going to invite you out whenever I do it because
Yes.
I wanted to do some things with it, and maybe I have you narrate
Okay.
the book signing or something like that.
I would love it. I would love it. Definitely. But yeah, this is great. I'm telling you, you're doing a great work, and I'm telling you, it is going to help. It is already helping. I know. And I know I've come into the knowledge of you and what you're doing, and it's just tremendous to me. It really is.
Thank you.
But I do thank you for coming on, taking time out to come on and to this interview on this session on today on Mind, Body, and Soul. We appreciate it. And as I stated, we're going to upload this to Intellectual Radio's YouTube maybe by today or tomorrow and have it out there as well. People can always come back and watch it on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook on my pages. And we know things are changing with this technology, you guys. And I think Facebook, after 30 days or so, they will remove your live stream and all of that. So, but we have other avenues. And so again, if you want to connect with my guest on today, she is on Facebook. I did put the her link for her Facebook page on there. And then you can also go to her website, Lamekia Davis Global.com. I love it. I love it. Anything else you want to share with us before we leave on today?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to be on your platform. I just wish the best for you because I was on your show, you go global now, girl. So
True. I receive that. I receive it. Wonderful, wonderful. So thank you again. It was my pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
And just a wonderful individual.
Thank you so much.
That I've met, and I just bid you Godspeed, and I pray that God would just blow up everything for you.
Amen.
Globally, continually.
I receive it, sis. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to whatever we got going on next.
Okay, that's right. That's true. That is so true.
Get caught in a net with